I have never believed in sharing is caring, honestly, because I feel that as adults also we don't like to share a lot of things. Daniel Tiger, Bluey, they are great shows where they have shown sibling bonds really well.
When the baby comes, would you like to do this or this? And giving them that option so they feel excited and have that sense of a responsibility.
Take some gifts for the elder one, because everybody who comes to meet the baby, they bring gifts for the little baby. Every time you have to feed and you tell your child, can you go out? I'm just making him sleep. So whenever you're blaming the little one, the elder one is always feeling, because of this child, I am not able to spend time with my mother.
Just 10 minutes in the day, that's it. And they say this is the best way to continue to foster that relationship.
They don't understand the difference between positive attention and negative attention. You are not a referee in your child's scream matches. You are a sportscaster. It's not about child-to-child relationship when it comes to siblings. It's about child-to-parent relationship.
Hey parents, welcome to another episode of the Modern Indian Parent Podcast, a podcast that is redefining parenting in Indian families. I'm Sanchita Daswani, a pediatric nutritionist, and every week we bring you episodes to help you own your modern parenting choices, even if Nani and Dadi don't agree with them. In today's episode, we are going to be discussing about sibling rivalry. So all the parents out there who have more than one kid, we've all been through different phases with our kids in terms of acceptance of a new sibling, emotions, fighting for time with parents. There are so many things we are dealing with on a daily basis. And today we are joined with Rahela Tayyebi. She's a trauma-informed parenting coach. She's a mom of two wonderful boys as well, and someone who truly is passionate about parenthood and brain science. She's built a community of over 200,000 parents on Instagram where she shares simple, respectful parenting tips. At home, she sees the real stuff, from sibling fights to big feelings and tender moments too. Today, she'll be sharing with us what all she's learned through her own journey and working with so many families on how we can handle sibling rivalry with more calm, connection, and confidence. So let's welcome Rahela to the podcast. Welcome, Rahela, to the Modern Indian Parent Podcast. How are you doing today?
Great, I'm great. I'm really, we have been looking forward to doing this for a long time, and I'm really glad that we are doing it today.
Yeah, thank you for, being here today. We're going to be talking about such an important topic, which is sibling rivalry. And, as a parenting coach and also as a mom of two boys, I'm sure you have so many insights for us. And before we get started, I'd just love to know a little bit more about your journey into becoming a parenting coach.
So it started with Instagram, basically. So I was not doing anything. I had two boys, and I am a software developer by profession, but I never thought back of going back to my job, leaving my kids. So I just started posting content. Like, I was a very avid reader, and I used to read everything about parenting and used to apply it with my boys. I started reading more about it and found it very interesting and started posting. People started connecting on Instagram through it. And after that, when my son was around 6 months, I had started this page at that time, and the page gained a little popularity. And then I was like, I want to learn more about this. I had not heard of the term gentle parenting before I came on Instagram. I read books, I did some certification courses, and then I actually feel very passionate about it because I think the starting years of our children's lives, they determine their entire lives, like how they are going to be. I feel moms need a lot of support in that end, and I feel that this is my purpose in life now, that I can help moms be kinder to their children, feel more connected to their children. So yeah, that's my goal here right now.
Yeah, it's so amazing. I think so many of us as moms today, we've come into our careers and our real calling after having kids because we've realized the need for it. And the fact that now there's so many coaches out there, like I'm a child nutritionist, you're a parenting coach. It's so nice for parents to feel that there is support. And it's nice to also see parents are okay to ask for help because it was a big stigma back in the day. So it's nice that we're out there on Instagram showing people it's okay to have help. And actually the fact that we actually care to do the best for our kids and really take that effort, it's so nice to see. And, when it comes to siblings, let's get into it. So, I have twins. So, my experience is obviously very different. So, I want to start from the basics. And this episode is really about giving tips to parents who are struggling with handling raising more than one kid. So let's start from the start itself. So when we have parents who find out they're going to have another kid, when it comes to telling the child, how do you think it's best for parents to navigate this in terms of when is the best time to tell their kid? And is there any way that you would say they should kind of say it to not get the kid afraid and instead have them more excited?
So usually kids, they cannot see future like us. Like as adults, our brains are comparatively more developed. So we are able to see ki what all is going to happen. But if your child is around 3 year old, 4 year old, they are not able to understand when we tell them that there will be a baby in the house. They don't understand that how the needs will be divided, how my parents will be with somebody. They are not able to comprehend that at that age because they have never seen something like this. So if your child enjoys playing with a friend or has seen other friends of theirs having a sibling, then it's a great idea to introduce them through that concept. Like if your friend has two kids, then taking your child over and just showing that this, do you also want a brother who can play with you all the time? Or should we also get a baby? Like taking it ahead, like as you and your husband have decided once, like we want to plan another baby, or if you're pregnant, I think it's a great idea to introduce your child through visual things, like even on television, the TV shows they watch. So we can just guide them ki there is a sibling for that, like Daniel Tiger, Bluey. They are great shows where they have shown sibling bonds really well. So, introducing them would be a great idea to this concept ki what happens when there is a sibling.
I love that. I love that you're saying that, just saying that there's going to be a baby, they don't understand that. But by showing them visuals or actual examples, that's a much easier way. No, that's so true, because we just feel like we'll tell them and they're supposed to get it. But we forget that they are actually toddlers. So that's a good example. And luckily, there's so many shows out there as well that show these examples. And I also realize my kids do learn really well through books and through TV shows. They will come back and talk to me about these concepts.
Yeah, so there are some great books also to introduce your child. Like there are some books which are pregnancy related also. So there is a house and my mummy, something like that. I don't remember the name completely. But in that they show like how there is a baby growing inside my mummy, how I'm taking care of my mother and how there will be a baby after some time. There are a lot of books these days available which can help the child understand what is happening with us also. And also I feel that for them, if you keep on building on that connection with them, like every day setting their routine, every day having those conversations, making them feel involved in that. Like when you feel, let the baby touch the tummy, let them help you more. So they also get a feeling that I'm also involved in this process of the new baby coming in.
Yeah, that's so important because toddlers are all about autonomy and feeling in control. So I think one of the great hacks is how can they have a role to play and not be an isolated situation. And for kids, it's about giving them choices. So would you like to, when the baby comes, would you like to do this or this? And giving them that option so they feel excited and have that sense of a
Yeah.
responsibility. And what happens if the parent has read all these books and all of that, but what if the child is not having such a positive response to it and they start getting a bit upset? Of course, I think one thing is we should validate the feelings, but how can parents navigate when the child is not that excited about it?
See, I feel that it's a decision of the parents if they want another child or not. Like the child doesn't have a say in it, honestly, because yeah, they are a child right now. They don't understand what do we want and how are we going to raise them. So it can be that some kids are not excited. My elder one was not at all excited when my little one was born. It took him a lot of time to just come and touch him because he was very scared of him. He was like, if I do something wrong, because people around us are usually telling the baby, don't touch the baby, don't make him cry. And as soon as the baby is born, everybody's very protective of the newborn. So he had a really tough time connecting with my little one. But I feel that it's not about excitement. It's like you said, validating feelings and telling him that it's okay if you're feeling like that. I get it. But scheduling some time for him to listen to him and not negating his feelings. No, no, you don't feel like this. He'll play with you. But the baby's not playing, the baby's sleeping all the time. So, as I said, the child is not able to see the future. And we usually expect that they'll be able to see how happy you will be once the baby starts playing with you. But
Okay,
they
okay.
want to be in that moment, is what I feel. Like you negating them in that moment will not work, but validating will work. Like, yeah, I know it feels difficult right now for you. What can the baby do for you? Also, one of the great tips that I got when I was pregnant was that take some gifts for the elder one, because everybody who comes to meet the baby, they bring gifts for the little baby. But I packed the entire bag of books and toys in my hospital bag. And when Taha came to visit us, we gave it to him and was like, "See, baby bought all these gifts from you for you." And he was so excited about it that, okay, the baby bought me gifts. That's a nice thing for me to have. So, something which can create that kind of a bond ki, okay, the baby is also wanting to be with you.
Yeah, I remember that tip because a lot of times when I go to visit, my friends would always tell me, make sure you take a toy for the elder sibling so that he feels involved and the smile on their face and the amount of excitement they get that, oh yeah, I also get a toy. They don't expect that. And that gives them that a bit of a, sometimes I see the kids, they just have this sigh of relief that, okay, I'm also important. I'm also valid during this time. And so we have, okay, we have the whole thing of prepping the kids for the arrival where we work on the visual things. We take them to see how siblings interact. When they're born, also it's about validating their feelings and also acknowledging this. Now, when a new baby comes in, of course, the mom is super busy and the priority is on the newborn. How can the family household be set up in a way that the elder one still gets that attention and that time, knowing that, yes, the mom will be quite preoccupied?
I understand that the mom will be busy, but whatever work she can delegate to others which are not baby related. Like, in the initial 2, 3 months, the newborn usually just wants to feed and sleep and be changed. That's it. That's their entire thing. So, apart from feeding, the rest of the time, if the mom can allocate some time to the elder child, that will really help him because it will set, ki, okay, my mom is not taken away from me. He wants that conformity again and again. Also, sometimes when we want to feed the baby, we isolate the elder one. So, in that case, I would say that even if you have a boy child, let him be there when you're breastfeeding. It's a normal process. Let your child be there around you whenever you're feeding, whenever you are with the newborn also, because he just wants to feel seen again and again by the mother and seen ki, okay, like every time you have to feed and you tell your child ki, can you go out, I'm just making him sleep. So whenever you're blaming the little one, the elder one is always feeling, because of this child I am not able to spend time with my mother. And whatever it is, like 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, for them, you are the entire world. And you have been the entire world since they were born. When the break comes, okay, no, you cannot be with your mom, you have to be with your dad. If it is something like where the father will be taking care of the elder one, I would suggest that when you are around 5, 6 months pregnant, start prepping the baby from then on, your elder one from that age onwards, because they should not feel that as soon as the baby came in, I am not getting attention.
That's so important because that's when they really lash out. And so many times we feel, okay, let's delegate, right? Like we'll be with the baby and let the grandparents and the dad handle it. But exactly what you're saying, they still crave that attention from the mom. And I remember learning about this because I have twins and it was like, how do I navigate time with them? And there's something called the 10-minute rule, and it is just about every day, because even if you have one child, like you still have to find time to prioritize, especially if you're working. So this 10-minute rule is where just 10 minutes in the day. That's it. You just sit with your child. You don't ask anything. Whatever they want to do, you just sit with them. And they say this is the best way to continue to foster that relationship. So even if you are a new mom, you're probably overwhelmed, exhausted. But I think 10 minutes a day sounds at least okay. I can do that. And even that little time, like, okay, every day, 10 minutes, we're going to choose whatever you want to do and we will do it. So I feel like it's more about remembering that just those small moments and that attention will just help bring back the connection. What do you feel?
Definitely, we do a connection challenge just based on this concept that you talked about, where we give everyday task of 5 to 10 minutes to do with your child to just feel that connection, and it is super effective. But like you said, there should be no agenda to it. Like there should be no agenda apart from connecting with your child. It should not be like I'm doing worksheets for making them learn something. It should not be. It should be completely child led, where the child and you are feeling just that it's just the two of us. No phones, no distractions. Like usually when we are a stay at home mom, we usually feel that I spend so much time with my child. But on the contrary, when you're sitting with your child, you're thinking dinner mein kya banana hai, how what will we do next. It's always you're on the running mode, but take those 10 minutes to just slow down and be with your child. Also, as we're talking about newborns here, when you're feeding the newborn, second borns are usually very, very resilient compared to the firstborn. Like I remember when my first one was born, I used to keep the room very dark, no noises, and everything was quite perfect in that time. But my little one, he slept through banging doors, he slept through kids screaming, he slept through everything because he had to sleep and there was no other choice for him, and he became resilient to that because his brother was always around. They just find their way. But for us, it's important, like when you are breastfeeding the baby, you can read to your elder one for some time. You can keep some pretend play toys around, like a kitchen toy or something where they can cook something for you, make something for you, and just, play with them in that time.
That's so nice to hear that like we can find simple ways and simple things to do to get them to
Yes.
feel involved. And you're right. I feel like so many of us who are at home with our kids, we think we're with them the whole time, but that actual quality time is not there. A whole day our mind is racing with 100 things. So that 10-minute thing is just life changing,
Oh,
honestly.
yes.
A lot of times parents are noticing once they have a newborn, the elder child starts sometimes showing some regressions in the sense like if they were on track to potty train or if they started to eat better, some of these milestones or certain things they need to accomplish suddenly takes a step back. Have you seen this before? Is it normal? And what can we do as parents if we're noticing these shifts?
It's completely normal, Sanchita. Such things happen with almost all kids. Like if your child is self-feeding, they might want you to feed them. Sometimes if your newborn is feeding, they might want their bottle back if they have just weaned the bottle. They will do these things because they also want to feel like a baby again. Like you're telling the baby that I am feeding the baby. So the elder one is like, how can I get attention when mama sits with me during mealtime? I get entire attention. Food is one of the major things, food and potty, because these are the two things we cannot ignore at all as moms. So they understand that these are the times I can get 100% attention. So how can I get it? If I'm eating on my own, nobody is watching me. But if I am not eating, mama will make sure to sit with me in that time.
Yeah, it's a cry for attention almost, right?
Yes. Actually, kids, they don't understand difference between positive attention and negative attention. They just want that attention. Like if they're getting it with a positive, positive behavior, they will do more of that. But if they're getting it more with a negative behavior, they'll do more of that.
You're so right. They don't understand the difference. They just want that attention, however it
Yes.
can be. And yeah, so basically, in terms of if we're noticing this, like for example, the child wants the bottle back or they just don't want to eat themselves, how can parents help the child in this way?
I would say give them that thing. If they're asking for it, don't make a very big fuss about it. If your child is asking you to feed them, just feed them. It's okay. Like it will not take them a step back, But when you start ignoring these behaviors, they will stop on their own, because
Okay,
your
okay,
child
okay.
already knows the skill. Like if the child is wanting to be fed by you, you start making your plate and their plate together and start eating with them. So you give them a few bites and then ask them to eat a few bites. They will start again on that track again. Just the thing that main thing for them in that time is attention. Whatever they are doing to get your attention for them.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah, sometimes we just forget they're humans. They have feelings. They're going through stuff, and a toddler brain is very different in the way they're thinking. And let's get into a little bit of as the kids start growing older and they start interacting more with each other. We've seen situations where the elder one might get a bit angry or jealous and start lashing out a little bit on the baby. I've heard stories of where the elder kid will actually like hit the child or push the baby. Again, I would say this is a cry for attention. I guess they don't know how to express themselves. So for them, it's like, let me push, let me hit. When parents start seeing some of these physical movements or these things, how can they help the child express their feelings in a better way?
To say that these things will happen. Like parents should be prepared for it. Even if your child has never hit, they might push the little one. For them, that child is like a toy. They want to experiment with it in every single way and see how they react to it. Like when my son, around when he was 9 months old, my little one, when he started to walk. So my elder one would just go and push him. So he would just walk 2, 3 steps and then fall down. And then again he would get up and then again start again. Then again he would push him. So I used to tell my husband at that time that I think इसको यही लगता होगा कि थोड़ा चलते हैं and then धक्का लगता है कहीं से and then we fall down. But it is what it is. Like we tried to correct him. The more we tried to correct him, the more he wanted to do it. So instead, what I would do is if he's pushing him, I would just take my little one in my godi and just be like, okay, let me just be with him for 5 minutes. I think he's hurt. Let's see what is happening with him. If he started to cry, something like you're not giving a lot of attention to these kind of behaviors is very, very important. Like I went to a friend's house a few days. This is a old incident, but it has stayed with me. So my kids are around 3, 3.5, and I had gone to a friend's house who had just delivered. Her elder son, who was 3.5, he just came near the child who was 3, 4 months and shouted, ah! And the newborn just woke up. And the mom was so calm. And I was like, I was looking at my friend. I was like, how did you do that? Like, how were you so calm? So she was like, he has been doing this a lot. And the more I tell him not to do it, he does it every 5 minutes. But if I'm not saying anything, he will let him at least sleep for 1 hour in this case. So I'm like, yeah, makes sense. So sometimes all these behaviors are just experiment to see our reaction and the newborn's reaction. Like, how are they going to react to this? So the lesser attention you give to negative behaviors, again, that will slowly calm down for them.
That's so interesting because when we learn about gentle parenting now, they have these things where they say that you tell the kid if they hit, you say, it's okay to be upset, but it is not okay to hit. I'm not going to let you hit your brother. I'm going to move him away from the situation.
Yes.
So is that the way we can speak? Because from what you're saying kind of just let it pass in a way, but then at what point do we have to acknowledge it as well?
See, boundaries are important, but with boundaries, what we need to understand is what you are going to do in that time. Boundaries, usually people confuse it with, I told my child not to hit, my child should not hit. But what is the boundary here? You are picking your little one and you are saving him from him hitting. That is a boundary. Usually people get confused when we talk about boundaries. They feel when I have set a boundary, my child has to follow that boundary, but that's not possible for them. For them, their brain is saying, no, I have to hit. When I'm getting some feeling, I have to release it. Like inside, like every negative behavior has a need underneath for that child. So the child might want to push, like some child might want to hit. So if you're telling him no hitting, then we're just suppressing that feeling for them. But what we need to give them is a safer way to release that.
Right, right. So it's like, okay, it's if you're feeling upset, it's not okay to hit your brother. But why don't we? I've seen this where they're like, why don't we go and go outside and like hit some balls, or like
Yes.
basically redirect the energy to something that is more constructive and safer. So it's like you're still letting them let their feeling out, but in a way that's not harming others.
Yeah, sometimes some kids they want to hit you. Like they will be like they want to hit you. So I would not say that you let them hit you, but I would say that you keep a pillow and tell them, yeah, you can hit at this pillow because they want to release that. It's
Yeah.
so much in them that they want to hit at that point. Like they cannot, like, with adults, the thing is we get a feeling, we suppress it because we have always been taught to suppress. Like you're not supposed to cry, you're not supposed to be too happy. We suppress that feeling and we keep on building it up till the time we reach a volcanic eruption of that feeling. Some days it comes out on our husband, some days it come out on our kids. But with kids, they cannot suppress their feelings. They just have to complete that entire cycle where they're feeling something, they will want to release, and then they'll be normal again. Sometimes, if you've seen kids, they will be angry 1 minute later, they have hit, they have shouted, and then they're again normal. And you're like, how is this happening? And especially with means my boys, I've seen it a lot. Like they both are hitting each other, and 5 minutes later, they both are playing together. So that is how it is that they both got a chance to release that feelings, that whatever was coming for them, and then they're normal again.
Yeah, so let's get into the relationship of siblings, right? So one big thing is sharing. With my twins, I think for them every day there is a bit of a battle, like which side of the bed do they get? Or like we're traveling this week, so they're like, who gets the window seat, who gets the other seat, who gets the remote control. Sharing is a big thing, and I sometimes feel lost. I'm not sure how to navigate it. For me, I'm just kind of like, okay, let's take turns. Or also, I think it's important to show kids that sometimes you're not always going to get your way. So what are your tips for parents who are struggling with kids constantly fighting about sharing things and getting their turn? What are some effective tools we can use as parents? Like, should we teach them to share equally? Is it okay if sometimes one of them gets their way and the other doesn't? It's as parents, we're trying to do the best, but we also have to teach our kids sometimes you won't get your way. Sometimes these are the situations. How do we handle this sharing situation?
So I have never believed in sharing is caring, honestly, because I feel that as adults also we don't like to share a lot of things. Like I would not want to share my phone with anyone. It's important to me. I can't give it to anyone like that. So for kids also similar thing happens. They don't want to share. So if you have two kids of the similar age, or if you have kids who want to play with the same toy at the same time, either they can take a part of it. Like if they're playing with Lego, then I distribute. I'm like, you guys can make something from it. Or if my elder one is already making something, then I will ask my little one to play with something else in that time. And I know a lot of parents use techniques like take 10 minutes timer, 10 minutes for him, 10 minutes for you. But I feel that till that I usually give them that till the time your brother is playing with it, you can't play with. Like let him have how much ever time he wants to play with it. And then when he's done with it, he has to give it to you. Because I feel that because sometimes the kids are in a process of doing something and we break that process. Like 10 minutes feels overwhelming for the child. Like I will not be able to finish this thing in 10 minutes. So they feel overwhelmed and they don't want to give even more. Like they're like, they took it away from me. And when my boys were little, when my little one was around 10, 12 months, and my elder one used to make something out of magnetiles or something like that, then my little one was very excited because they wanted everything that my elder one was playing with. And at that time, it was a pandemic and we were all at home. So there were no chances that we could send one of the child away or do something like that. So if you are stuck in such situations, I would suggest that talk to your elder one. Okay, can you give him something from this? Like if there are 100 pieces of magnetiles, can you give him 5, 10 pieces which he can play with? So he is not breaking up what you are making. Like you be in your elder child's team more in these situations. When there is a difference in age, usually we expect the elder child to give in कि तुम बड़े हो, you should give, he is a little baby, वो थोड़ी देर खेल कर दे देगा. लेकिन I feel instead of that, it's better that you take their side and the little one will adjust, because the little kids, they, as I said, they're more resilient. They know how to share. They have born with that instinct of sharing, like your kids. Like they know from beginning that we have to share. We share our parents, we share our toys, we share everything. So if you are like, the thing you said, that which bed will we be taking, what are all these things, I would say draw a chit or do a picker wheel, so that everybody feels that it's fair, that everybody got a fair chance.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like sometimes, so I said, okay, let's make a calendar and we'll decide who gets what day, and you pick out the chits. And then obviously one of them didn't get what they wanted, so they started having a meltdown. And I think, again, for me, like now as parents, we just have to, I understand you're upset, you didn't get that side, you would have felt good. But tomorrow, when you get the side, what do you think you're going to do on that side of the
Yeah.
bed? Like, acknowledge their feelings, set the boundary, and set them that this is the way it is, it's not going to change. But then the last thing is give them something to look forward to for when it does happen. And I think that's important to teach them the reality that they're not always going to get what they want, but how can we make the best out of the situation presented to us?
Exactly, exactly. Our kids will not get everything that they want from us in that moment. Like sometimes they're playing with a ball, they both are fighting for it. And sometimes I have to intervene and say, I'll have to keep the ball away. If you both cannot play with it together or decide who gets to play with it, then nobody gets it. So you can decide. We have only one television at my place. We don't have any other television in any other room. So if they both want to watch something on TV, they have to decide what is the TV show that they are going to watch. It cannot be like Taha gets 1 hour, Zen gets 1 hour. It cannot be like that. It is that you both will watch together. So my elder one, as he is a little older now, he wants to watch shows which are different for a 6 year old what he used to watch. He wants to watch something which has a lot of violence or something like that. And I have to remind him, "Ki, your brother is watching with you. You cannot watch something like this. You have to decide something which is appropriate for him also, and you both agree on that."
Yeah, I like what you said about how sometimes if they're fighting, for example, for a ball, I've used this where I say, okay, if you guys can't decide, I'm going to take the ball away because neither of you can decide. But as a parent, when we see our kids fighting about something, at what point do we intervene, or at what point do we say, let them figure it out themselves?
Till the time they're not getting physical with each other, they're not hitting each other. Like, we can sense that when we are in that room, hands are going to be used in some time, then it's great to intervene at that time. And I would say that you don't be a referee in that. When you go in, you are not a referee in your child's scream matches. You are a sportscaster. You just tell, I can see that you want it, and I can see that even you want to play with it. How can we decide together? Like, can you both think of a game that you can play together? I can take it away. So you are a sportscaster where you're just telling what is happening. You're not taking any sides.
That's a good way to think about it. Be a sports broadcaster. Just talk about
Yes.
what you're seeing. So you're not being pinned to one side or the other. When it comes to our kids, because they are growing up as siblings, of course, we have those beautiful moments where they'll be holding hands or they'll be chatting. Whenever I see those moments, I'm like, oh my God, it's so, so cute. And then the next minute they're fighting, but that's part of life. In terms of raising kids together, are there any like activities or certain exercises just to help promote that bond among siblings, or things that you feel doing together is very important for siblings to do to really feel more connected to each other?
I feel unstructured play is the best way to get them to bond together, because they both get a chance to think together of what they want to do. Like, let them get bored together, let them think of ideas. Like, if you have some open-ended toys, my boys really like making tents and playing something inside of it. So, they every time they're making a new kind of a city in their room where they're playing. So they both are using their brains over there. And I feel the conversations that happen with it are also amazing. Also, board games are a great way to connect. Like, if you want to be involved in that, then board games are a great way to play with them. But always, if your child's age difference is there, like for you, you have twins, but if there is an age difference, don't side up with your little one a lot, is what I'll tell you. Usually, when we are playing, we want to hint our little one more that he doesn't feel that you're losing. But your elder one is getting a sign that somebody is helping him. That's why he's winning.
Yeah. I
So,
love the open play idea because I've seen that with Magna tiles or Lego, because then they're chatting, oh, hey, let's put this here. Hey, let's put this there. And it's nice to see how they connect, especially
yes.
when they're bored as well. And yeah, even for me, like one important thing that I've learned from this experience of raising twins, the advice that I've gotten the most is to remember that they are different people. Because when you're raising twins and they're the same age, I did do this where I kind of, because it just made my life easier. Like same classes, same routine, and just to kind of, again, to send one kid here, one kid there, it was like too much of a struggle. And I realized I got into that pattern. But then I started realizing that they are different people. They have different needs. They are meeting milestones at different times. And even if you have kids of different ages, whenever I get parents who come to me for child nutrition, they're like, oh, but my elder one did this, but this one is not liking the food. Or, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? That comparison
Yes.
tends to happen a lot. And it's normal. It's human nature for us to compare. What tips can you give for parents? Because I did it a lot, but then I started realizing that I need to spend time with each of them and really understand what their needs are. And now I put them in separate classes and do all of that. So, how do we stop ourselves from naturally comparing? Or even if we compare, how do we make sure we don't fall into that rut of like, even sometimes we say it out loud, but your brother was like this? How do we remind ourselves as parents that, you know what, every kid is different?
Yeah, like you said, Sanchita, we just have to keep on reminding ourselves that's the only solution for this. Like your kids are going to be different. Also thinking that how do you like being compared, like if with your brother, even with your brother, or even like for mothers, I really like to give this example with your nanand. How do you like to be get compared? Ki if your mother-in-law is comparing, it feels really weird to be compared with anyone. So even with your kids, they both are different personalities. They have different choices. Like my elder one, he is too much into art. My little one, he cannot even color properly. They both, like if I tell them what you want to do, my elder one might select a different activity and my little one might select a different activity. So getting okay with these personalities, like each child is a different flower. They are not the same flower, even if they're bought in the same pot. So they will have different, choices to make. The more you be observant of your child and follow that child, they will show you the path. You don't have to just, keep on nudging them to do the similar things as their brother or sister, but just following their path. What are their interests in what they do, they want to do more, so they will automatically show you the way. Like my elder one loves reading, but my little one, he gets bored easily with reading. Like he will read 2 3 minutes and then he's like, I don't want to read anymore. And it's okay. He likes to write more, or he likes to just play around more. He has more physical activity to do. So I feel it's okay. Like each child is different, is what you have to keep on reminding yourself. And also, you are a different parent to each child.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen most parents, I mean, I haven't experienced it, but most parents with their second child, they're so much more chill. The first child,
Yes.
they're very nervous, they're overly cautious. Second child, they're like, he or she'll be fine. So you are a different parent. That's definitely true.
Yeah, but right now also, I am always more worried about my elder one because what his next phase will be. But with my little one, I already know how this phase will go on about. So there is that relief with second ones. Second bonds, they usually learn quicker. So usual comparison comes in that zone because they have somebody of their almost their size modeling it for them every day. Sometimes we feel कि अरे मेरे बड़े बेटे को तो बहुत टाइम लगा था ये करने में, but my little one is very quick. He is very very smart. He instantly started doing it. But we have to see that there was somebody who was modeling it for him every day, which made easier for him.
Right. Yeah, yeah. And my last question to you about this is, how do we as parents handle managing our time when we have two kids and making sure that they each get the right amount of attention?
Like if your kids have some like overlapping school times, like my little one, he comes back at 2 o'clock and my elder one comes at 3:30. So 2 to 3, I make sure that I am with my little one as much as possible. And when my elder one comes home, I let my little one do something of his own, like he can do coloring, worksheets, or just roam around the house if he wants. But 3:30 to 5, then I'm with my elder one more. Like he is there in that room where I am. So, you have to allocate time accordingly where you are at least for 10 minutes every day, where you're just being there with your child for 10 15 minutes, where you just get time to have conversations. No, so you have to steal that pocket of time for each child. You have to make sure that you can plan dates sometimes where you can send one child to a friend's house and just be with one child and be there with them. Like once a week, you can try that. Alternatively, you can do trips with your child, or if they're of different gender, then taking one to shopping and sending other with dad, and next time swapping something like that can also help. So basically, it's all about being mindful that we want to connect more with our child in that time.
Thank you so much for joining us. This is such a great episode to just, I think the feeling I'm having is just that it's normal. They're going to fight, they're going to have their days. You are going to struggle as parents, but just being a bit more mindful and aware and making those small steps and that awareness to just spend a little bit more time and give them that attention and know that they're growing children, they're going to have their moods and
Yes.
days, and just kind of working with it and also giving yourself a breather, but knowing that it will be okay. But I think it's how we respond as parents
Yeah.
that makes all the difference. It's how we
I
react. Yeah.
I just recently read a quote about this, and it said that usually it's not about child to child relationship when it comes to siblings, it's about child to parent relationship. The better your relationship with is with your each of your child, the lesser they'll be fighting, the lesser there will be attention craving from them, the lesser they will be weird with each other, because they both are getting that safe zone with you. They are feeling that secure attachment with the parent. So that should be our goal as parents. Like, not that we don't want them to bond together, but they should have a bond with us also, which should be very strong.
Amazing. No, you're so right. I say the same thing about meal times. I say it's not about what your child does, it's about how you respond in your connection with times that will make a good eater or not. So thank you for all those insights. It was really, really enlightening, and I'm sure everyone's going to enjoy this episode. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Sanchita.